Welcome to the Tiffany Micah podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, this is Tiff from the Tiffany Micah podcast and welcome to today's episode. Well, we're dealing with an epidemic right now, aren't we? The coronavirus is around the world and it's actually affecting a lot of things that are actually going on in the world right now, as you are very aware for yourself. And what we want to do here in this episode is I want to let's look at some practical solutions on how to deal with the coronavirus, which is the COVID-19, and what you can do to help you with your sport and continue on the process of pursuing your goals. So let's look at the coronavirus first and what's actually going on in the world. So the world's gone down into lockdown mode, hasn't it? The borders to many countries are closed. No one is traveling. Events are being closed down. There are restrictions to how many people can congregate in one area, and there's many precautions to take. So we know that we're getting all that information, and everywhere you turn, that's what's actually going on. So what is COVID-19? Well, a coronavirus is a large family of viruses that cause respiratory infections. And these can range from the common cold to more serious diseases. Now, the COVID-19 is the disease caused by a new coronavirus first reported in Wuhan City in China. I believe it was December 2019. And it can range from mild illness to pneumonia. Now, some people will recover easily from it, and some may get sick quickly from this disease or this virus, and symptoms include fever, flu-like symptoms, coughing, sore throat, fatigue, shortness of breath. Okay, so I got that off one of the health websites, health.gov.au site on the internet when I wanted to get some research and just we all know what's going on. We all know there's a virus, the coronavirus. We all know that it's shutting down the world at the moment. Everyone's going into lockdown and what's going on. But the big thing we want to make sure that we do here, and we want to be really sensible about this, is we want to make sure that we're taking precautions. Okay, so it's really important that we're taking precautions. So things like practice good hygiene to protect against infection and prevent viruses spreading. So that's, the antibacterial wipes, and making sure you're just being really sensible, washing your hands after going to the toilet, washing your hands after, being, because sometimes you're going to be in a bigger crowd, especially when you're at the supermarket, chasing down that toilet paper, which is what everyone's going on with at the moment. But be sensible with what you do, okay? Then there's also self-isolation. So, it's staying home for that 14-day period and ensuring that you're not coming in contact with anyone else. And there's that social distancing as well that's actually being recommended to take as well, about 1.5 meters from each person. So really here, what we really want to do here is we want to just be really sensible. Okay, there's so much information out there. There's so much hysteria out there about the coronavirus. It is, according to that, it affects your respiratory system. It has symptoms like fever and flu and so on. So it appears to be a strand of the flu. Again, that's what I'm appearing to from the research that I've read. Okay, so what do? Right? We take precautions, but then what? Do we get caught up in the hysteria of actually what's going on? Do we chase down those people that have got that last roll of toilet paper and knock them over the head with a pasta box? No, we don't do silly things like that. We don't get out of control, okay? Because the question becomes is, do you stop living your life and pursuing your goals because we have a challenge now in place? Right? What happens normally when you're pursuing your goals and you have a challenge in place? Do you stop living and pursuing what you're going after? No. You figure out ways around it, right? So that's what we're going to be looking at. So firstly, I want to stress to you that just be sensible, follow the information you've been given, and take the precautions that needs to be taken for the COVID-19, okay? Very simple, easy to understand instructions. Just do that. But the question I've got for you is, do you live in fear? Because it's happening everywhere. It's happening here in Australia. People are rushing to the supermarket, buying out all the toilet paper, all the tissues, all the sanitary wipes, all the other goods like the stable foods like pasta, rice and everything, right? It's absolutely going crazy here. And people are acting out of fear. So what they've actually got with the supermarkets here in Australia right now, they've opened up a specific time for the elderly and disabled to actually go into the supermarket early in the morning and get their essential items that they need. Right, they'll be the first shoppers of the day. That's actually what's going on there. So that's great. So there's action being taken to help those that, that are not so able-bodied, and giving them an opportunity to, because they've been missing out too. They've been missing out on getting all the essentials and so on. So that's great. And I see that that's actually going on in the rest of the world. Everyone's, getting absolutely crazy. Everyone's acting out of fear because they're frightened that they're going to miss out on, essential items. I mean, really, in this day and age, I don't think we will. The manufacturers obviously are having a little bit of a problem right now, keeping up to date with and keeping up to the demand of what's going on right now. But that'll all catch up and sort itself out. But what's going on is, like, everywhere we're turning is you listen to the radio, you watch the TV, you jump on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and everything else, and you see all this fear, and people are acting out of fear. And sometimes when we act out of fear, we do things we don't normally do, and that's that fight or flight response that we have. And we all cope with challenges really differently. And, I could go on and talk about all the different ways that we could deal with challenges and how we cope with them and so on. But I'm not going to do that. I want to talk to you about you and your sport. Because highly likely your team sessions have been cancelled. If you play in an individual sport, maybe you may not be working with your coach or training with other players, or there's been a lot of changes that have gone on. Your competitions and tournaments have been cancelled. Perhaps where you go to school or college or university, that may have closed down for the time being, or they have restricted timeframes in which you can go there. But does that mean that you actually stop? Because everyone's acting out of fear. And no, you shouldn't stop what you're doing and pursuing. Of course you take precautions, and of course you be sensible, okay? So I'm not saying not to do that. I'm saying just follow all the guidelines of what you're being told to do. But I see this as an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity for you to, go out there and work even harder in your sport, in everything that you want to accomplish. This is, if things are closing down, the tournaments aren't on like they normally are, the competitions aren't on like they normally are, the training sessions aren't on like they normally are, Okay, let's think outside the box. What can you do? Well, let's have a look. Here's some examples. You could go and try those new drills that you've been dying to try, that you haven't been able to get to yet because you've been too focused on other specific things. Go and try something else. You could test out that new technique that you've wanted to work on, but you haven't been able to do that because you've actually been competing. So you've been holding back, redefining your technique or refining your technique. Right? Perfect opportunity to go and explore that. You could improve your nutrition and find out what foods or supplements that could actually benefit you to help you get that competitive edge when everything all goes back to normal. And it will go back to normal at some point, right? So you could be working on that. Or you could try some new training methods or some new techniques that you've wanted to try. You could be developing and improving your mental skills in your sport, right? There's so much to do. There's so much to do. You could go and, read, jump on the internet, perfect opportunity. Go and study, what the pros are doing, the new techniques. There's so much to do. Go and find out. Don't let what's going on right here, hold you back. Because I want you to use this time as an opportunity for you to develop yourself further as an athlete, as a player, and as a person. So don't get caught up in that fear. It's easy to do. It's easy to, when you listen to other people, it's easy to get caught up in other situations, right? You've got your plan. You know where you're going. I want you to take back the control, because that's what you can control. Because you can't control what's happening in the world right now. You can't control the media. You can't control the reactions to COVID-19. You can't control the hysteria that's going on in the supermarkets. You can't do it. There's so much going on. You have no control over that. But let's look at what you can control. And what you can control is you can take precautions, right? Do all the right things that they're telling you to do. Develop you further as a player and as a competitor. So new drills, new techniques, double down on the training. Work on what needs to be worked on with your mental skills. Work on your nutrition so that you can get that competitive edge. Keep working on being really fit and healthy. Because you want to focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. And there's a saying, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the negatives or what you can't control, for example, what's actually going on right now, the coronavirus, COVID-19, and everything that actually surrounds it, what happens? It brings up fears, it brings up doubts. You're too worried about going outside. You're too worried about going to the gym. You're too worried about training. You're too worried about being next to someone. And you'll be living and operating out of that fear. You'll be living and operating out of that doubt. But if you focus on what you can control, then get out there and start pursuing those goals. Don't let this be the thing that holds you back. Just be sensible and take precautions, but just keep going. That's all you got to do, is just got to keep going. You may have to modify things. Like I said, perfect opportunity to take advantage of what's going on right now. You can try some new things too. But let's get out there and get on with it. Okay? That's what I wanted to share with you today. I'm getting out there and getting on with it. I've got no control of what's going on out there. All I can control is what I do. So, recording an episode for you today, that's what I can control. Let's do it. Okay, let's get out there and get on with it. Now, before you go anywhere, have you signed up for the Successful Athlete Masterclass? It's designed to show you how to take control in your sport, and pursue your sports goals. It's a free video series. It's a perfect opportunity to sign up for it. What we'll be doing in the Successful Athlete Masterclass is we'll help you unlock what's holding you back. We identify the skills and the mental side of your sport that is stopping you from reaching your goals. We show you how to start accomplishing your sports goals. Do not leave this to chance. Just working harder and harder will not give you the results. If you are finding that working harder is not giving you the results, then it's time to change what the strategy, isn't it? It's time to change what you're actually doing. And that's why you need to come and sign up for free. All you need to do is enter your name and email address, the Successful Athlete Masterclass, because then you will know what's actually missing. So go to tiffany-mika.com/Sam, as in SAM. I look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, and go after your dreams.